Hey y'all, it's Ashley from I Have Plans for You. Stay tuned if you want to learn how I did these fall doodles and created this autumn gratitude spread using only pencils and fine liners. All right, y'all. So I just have this notebook. This is the one from my Softly Falling Blooms collection, which was a fall collection. I'm going to turn to the first blank page here. And as you can see, this is a dot grid notebook. I have a few supplies here. I just have a pencil, a few fine liners in different sizes, and an eraser. And I'll make sure that I link all of those below. And just to mention, I do like to doodle and draw sometimes on dot grid because the dots help you stay aligned and make sure that your drawings are symmetric if you're going for symmetry. So we'll get started here with a mug of cider. I'm going to move my hand out of the way here so you can see a little better in a second. But we're starting off with a oval kind of sitting on its side. And you see I'm using that dot grid to help me align the oval there. Now we're going to do these two kind of curved C curves on each side of that oval. They kind of look like two parentheses that are close together. And you see me sketching back and forth to try to get them as evenly as possible. Use your eraser if you need it here. And just sketch out. Don't try to draw the line all at one time. Just kind of draw it in sections and sketch it out as you need to. And then give the bottom this rounded edge. The cup has a rounded curve at the bottom so that you can see it has a bit of depth. Move on to the handle, and those are just two C curves, one large one with a smaller one inside. And then we're going to draw a cinnamon stick. So what I'm thinking about here is drawing two parallel lines, and then I'm doing kind of like a swirly on the top to give it that cinnamon stick feel. And then we're going to fill the cup. Try to keep that curve where you filled the cup parallel with the curve of the actual mug. I'm just going back and erasing some of those lines that we don't want to see. For instance, that cinnamon stick is sitting in front of the cup, so I want to erase the lines in the back of the cup. And now I'm just giving our mug a little bit of a design. I'm going with a pretty simple design here, but you can do whatever design you'd like to at this step. Now I'm going to move on to two acorns. And you might notice that I tried to use a few motifs from the Autumn Enchantment sticker collection that is in my shop right now. So you're getting a little sneak peek on how I drew a few of these things, because I do draw them on paper before I put them into Procreate and draw them and colorize them for the stickers. But this is kind of how I drew those acorns for the Autumn Enchantment sticker set. So you have a U shape at the bottom, and then the cap, be sure to bring it out in a curve that's slightly longer than the U shape of the bottom of the acorn. Now I'm adding that hatching, and I'm just doing these curved crisscross lines at the top on the cap. And I'm putting the stem, and I don't know what that little bottom piece of the acorn is called, but I'm putting that there too. I'm doing it again for a second acorn, but you can see that I've nestled that acorn slightly behind the first one. And I'm following the exact same steps, that U curve on the bottom, or U shape on the bottom, with the cap with a slightly curved bottom and then a rounded top. I'm finishing off with those hatches, those crisscross lines. And then for the stem, bring it slightly down below the top of that acorn. And that way it looks like it's sitting kind of indented into the acorn, and it gives it a little more depth. And then I added that little piece at the bottom. So now we're going to do a candle. And this candle is going to be similar to the ones in the Autumn Enchantment sticker series again. But we're starting off with that same sideways oval like we did for the mug. Two parallel lines at both sides of the oval. And then I like to do these squigglies that come down from the side of the candle that kind of look like the candle is dripping. Be sure to add a bottom to the candle, and we want the bottom of the candle to mimic the top curve of the candle. So you're going to see me go back and kind of fix up that curve to make it a little more parallel to the top curve of the candle. Now I'm just adding a little plate for the candle to sit on top of. And erase as you need to, as you see fit, whenever you place something on top of another. I'm putting the stem there. And now I'm going to make 2 little S curves on the side of the stem to make the flame. Now it's time to move on to a sweater. So I was thinking that I would do the sweater at an angle, but I wanted to make sure that this tutorial was kind of easy and not too stressful for you. So I decided to do it straight up and down in case you have dot grid paper as well. But I did a U shape for the neck and 2 kind of slanted lines where the shoulders would be. Now I'm making these kind of bubbly parenthesis shapes again for the sleeves. And I'm going to come in from a certain point where it looks like the underarm would be and curve the sleeve in. So this sleeve is kind of sitting on top of the front of the sweater. And the other one will just do the same thing. So just form it as though there's an elbow in there, but we still want it to be large and loose like we like to wear our sweaters. Now let's draw the bottom of the sweater kind of coming out of the bottom of the arms there and add those sweater details. I'm just adding the kind of piping at the top, the bottom, and on the sleeves. And I'm going to just show you what it will look like with those sweatery lines that you see on that piping. And I'm going to add a pumpkin in the center, and we added a pumpkin in our Halloween doodle. So if you want to see how I draw my pumpkins, you can go back and watch that video. But just to make sure that we know that this sweater is an autumn sweater, I added a pumpkin. And since this will be a gratitude spread, I thought it'd be cute to add hearts here too for details. So next I'm going to go in and do a maple leaf. So when I do my maple leaves, I start with lines. I start with 1 long line, and we are going to do this one on an angle because I think it's pretty easy enough to for a beginner to do on an angle. And then I have those 2 kind of like make a V shape at the top of that line and then a wider V shape at the bottom. Now we're going to go in and kind of add a little bit of depth to the larger part of the stem, the main part of the stem, and then add these scallop shapes and kind of go around those lines to make the fullness of the maple leaf. We'll add more veining later, but for now, when we're on the pencil part of this sketch, I think that's enough. The last thing we're going to do here is a bowl of soup. Who doesn't love a nice bowl of soup for the autumn season and the winter season? Let me know what your favorite soup is below. I love potato and bacon soup, so drop your favorite soup below. I also like broccoli and cheese soup. But we started out with that same oval that we've been doing for this entire spread. And you're going to see me kind of go back in and erase a little bit here so that I can make sure my oval is nice and neat. And then we're going to do a larger C curve to make the bowl shape at the bottom. I wanted you to see that I do go in and I erase. I am a sketcher who erases. Some people sketch and they don't feel like they need to erase, and that could be you as well. But just if you are one that does like to erase, you're seeing me do it here and you know you're not alone. But go ahead and add the actual soup in the bowl, following the same curve of the top of the oval. And I'm going to add just a little cracker. I'm giving it some depth by giving it kind of like just adding some depth there at the bottom with the like cube kind of method down there. And then I added those little holes that you see in crackers from time to time. I'm going to add a spoon, and I'm thinking about sizing here. That spoon that I drew there looks a little short. So just to make it look like it goes with this actual bowl, and lengthening it a little bit, and then I added that little bit to make it look like it's in the soup, that little curve there. Now I'm gonna draw a little inkling of greenery, so a little garnish on the top, and then just a little curve there to kind of give the soup a bit of movement. Now you're going to go in with the larger size of your fine liners. So I have an 03 size and a 005 size. So I'm going in with my 03 size to do the outline of the shapes. So that larger outline of the shapes. I'll go back in with my 005 size to do the details. So it's kind of up to you to decide what you want to be in the smaller size. That 005 size is super tiny, but I'm speeding this part up because we already drew these elements together, and now we're just outlining what we already drew. While I'm outlining, I realized that I forgot to draw in the bowl that the soup sits on. So we're going to draw kind of like an oval that's sitting behind that soup bowl. And since I remembered it while I was doing my outline, I will just go ahead and draw it with my outlining pencil, with my outlining marker. And at this point, you're also seeing me go back in with that 005 fine liner and put in the details. But before I put in those details, I want to make sure that I've gotten rid of all of my pencil markings, because it's a little bit hard to see where you want to put your details when the pencil markings get in the way. So let me know if you like this style of tutorial down in the comments, and also include what your favorite doodle was from this tutorial as well. I thought that I wanted to give you all a tutorial on doodles for fall, but I didn't want it to just be doodles. So we did that for Halloween, and I thought it was pretty cute, but I wanted to give you a more practical way to use these doodles. So you'll see that we're going to actually add boxes, or you probably already saw that based on the intro. And this is actually going to be a gratitude spread. So not only are we learning how to draw these doodles so you can use them at any time, but these will also be used for a gratitude spread. And you can just cut this out or rip the page out and put it into your planner. If you're a patron, you will get this sheet as a download, and you can size it to different sizes for your planner. Now I'm going to take the larger of my fine liners, and this is purely up to you. You can take your smaller size depending on what it is. And I'm going to go ahead and draw the boxes in here. So in each one of these boxes, I'm going to write what I'm grateful for. And so you end up with 5 boxes with the way that I'm doing it here. If you're drawing this and some of your motifs are a little smaller and you wanted 6 boxes, then that's perfectly fine. But I'm going in, and I like the look of kind of doubling up these lines so that I can so it kind of looks like a picture frame or even kind of like a colorful box, and you can go back in and actually fill in the space between the lines with color. So one of the ideas here too was, when I fill this out, I'm going to color in each of the elements, and if I want to, I can go back and actually color in the space between the lines so that I can match, kind of like make my own little colorful boxes and match them to the elements in my spread. If you're doing this along with me, then I would love to see what you create. Follow me on Instagram and be sure to tag me over there when you share your spread that you've created from this video. Also, if you're a patron and you just colored yours in and you filled it in, then be sure to share that with me as well. And I will also share my updated coloring and gratitude spread on Instagram. So you don't want to miss anything over on Instagram and even TikTok as well. So make sure you're following me there so you don't miss those like smaller detail videos that don't really fit over here on YouTube. So I'm going to speed it up here, or I might just use the magic of YouTube to fast forward through this part, since I'm just creating these double boxes and you're kind of watching me do that now. So at this point, I've gotten all of my boxes down, and I'm going to go ahead and write the words autumn, gratitude. You see me kind of thinking out the spacing for how I'm going to do that. And I know I want to write the word autumn in kind of like a script style. So I'm writing the word gratitude first. And I just kind of like eyeballed and took my pencil and kind of mentally sketched out where that would be to make sure that it's going to be symmetric. And I'm doing that in this just kind of monoline style with my larger fine liner. Now I'm going in and kind of mentally sketching the word autumn in this bouncy lettering style that I like to do. You're going to see me do it in a monoline scripting style first, and then I'm going to go back and complete this faux lettering by going back only on the downstroke of the letter. If you want to leave it without the faux lettering, then that also looks really pretty, as you just saw, so you can do that as well. Alright guys, so we're all finished. Make sure you let me know if you like this by clicking the like button or leaving me a comment, and be sure to subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video.